Freddie, you know what? The history of aviation is pretty fantastic, from the Wright brothers all the way up to, I don't know, the Red Baron in World War I and the biplanes they use in the aeronautical warfare, all the way to 1939 when they introduced, well, the B-29. Is that right? Is it B-29?
B-25 Mitchell bomber, the only bomber named after an aviator.
There you go, Casson Foster. You're with the Historical Aviation Foundation. I'm going to land this plane. I promise you won't forget here.
Awesome.
Going. But I'm pretty excited about this thing. This B-25 was delivered here brand new back in the 40s, and actually crashed in South Carolina, and you've got it out of the water, and it's sitting here at Owens Field. This is kind of cool.
That's right. This plane's historically significant to South Carolina. It is the last known airplane that was part of the Columbia Army Air Base fleet, which was the largest B-25 training force in the world during World War II.
Right.
And it was actually crashed in Lake Greenwood on D-Day in 1944. So
of all things, that wasn't over in the war. It crashed here during training. It happened to be on D-Day as well.
Exactly, and believe it or not, this plane spent 39 years underwater before it was recovered as a mass effort led by Matt Self and Senator Strom Thurmond in the early 80s.
Now, did they know where it was, or did somebody find it and someone diving in Lake Greenwood went, what in the world is that?
The myth is, and I think the truth is, that they searched and searched, they couldn't find it, and then a little old lady was standing on a dock who happened to be a little girl during the time that it crashed,
right,
and she told the divers where to go dive, and that's how they found it.
That is amazing. And this thing, for the most part, there's some add-on parts and things been replaced, but for a lot of it, it is actually the way it was flown, the way it sat at the bottom of the lake. This is the real deal.
That's right. It's hard to find an aircraft that is historically significant and true to what it was during World War II. This plane is one of those. It has had a significant restoration effort after it was pulled out of Lake Greenwood, but other than the parts that are clearly restored, the main body of this plane is still the same that it was when it went into the lake. You can still see a lot of corrosion that suffered while it was underwater, but this is a true plane from the Columbia Army Air Base fleet. It's
just amazing to think these guys, these flyboys, as it were up, flying these things around, just protecting our freedom, and during World War II, it's amazing to sit here and look at these things, be inside. The cool thing about this is the way that you guys actually can get involved in restoring this piece of history that belongs to South Carolina, belongs to Columbia, frankly, as well. We're going to talk about the restoration efforts with the Aviation Historical Foundation. We're going to climb inside this baby in a couple of minutes and then talk about a big party this weekend. We would love for you to come and help support the mission of restoring this back to something of a museum that you can bring the family down to and come up close and actually touch history here at Owens Field. We are live this morning with B-25 on Good Day Columbia. Freddie? Well, you know what, guys, we actually are inside history as we speak right now, inside this B-25 that crashed in Lake Greenwood back in 1944 after being delivered here to South Carolina for a training mission, of course, getting ready for the efforts of World War II. Ken Barry here with the Historical Aviation Foundation here in Columbia, right here, based at Owens Field, as a matter of fact. This is, obviously, it's a shell of what she once was, but this is so amazing to be inside this plane.
It truly is. I mean, this is a B-25 Model C, and as you can look, being underwater for 39 years has taken its toll. I mean, we have basically just a shell left. As Tyler picked up, there's still clay and rock in here from the bottom of Lake Greenwood. And so we hope to, put the new seats in, get the yokes, get the panel redone, get it looking good in here so folks can come in here and see this part of living history.
Right. So this is the actual cockpit. This is where the pilot and co-pilot would have been. Here are the yokes here.
Exactly. The yokes,
sticks that were
they'll
there.
still come back and forward, but they're missing the actual control part.
Look at that.
Yep.
Look at that.
As you can see, all the power, propeller, all these levers are still here, which is really lucky. The knobs are still on.
Right. This is crazy. How many crew members would fly in this thing at wartime?
Typically, it'd be around 6 or 7, depending on that exact training role.
Okay. Now, the historical reference and connection here to the B-25, guys, is this is the kind of plane that was flown in the Doolittle raid. It was trained right here on Lake Murray back before the Doolittle raiders after Pearl Harbor.
Exactly.
And so these planes actually were flown throughout the war. There was 10,000 of them, I think, made.
It was the most produced medium bomber of World War II.
Right.
They were in every theater. They were in Germany. They were in the Pacific. They were everywhere, in all types of roles.
And we're talking, just again, use your imagination for a second. Think about this, guys. I mean, this is a little bit of aluminum. These guys are up in the air. They're 19 years old. Here are the keys to an airplane. Here's how you fly it. Their job is to go bomb the bad guy. And they're preparing. And there's bullets, 50 cal bullets coming at them. There's flak in the air. They're trying to fly straight through all this going on. And there's plexiglass and aluminum, and that's the only thing that's keeping you safe. 5 miles in the air. Just think about that. But these guys are just in this tube. It's so phenomenally amazing. The heroes that flew these planes.
It is true, and they did it every day, day after day.
In the numbers that came back, it was like if you got assigned to a plane, it was what your lifespan was expected to be like 11 days or something. You weren't coming back. If you got on the plane, cool, for 11 days.
It wasn't much. I mean, we lost over 100,000 men just in the air over Germany.
It is crazy. This thing is such a cool thing to be up in this piece of history that you actually can be a part of as well. You can see this thing. It's Owens Field. Saturday night, we're going to talk about a big dance, a USO style kind of sock hopper party we're going to have here at Owens Field on Saturday to support the rebuilding of this plane and restoration of this very plane we're in here. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but this is so cool being in this piece of history. Imagine a pilot sitting right here pulling this back and hoping to God he's coming home to see his mama again in World War II. Guys, stay with us. We're coming right back. Gaston Foster here. You're actually the president of the foundation.
I am.
The mission obviously is just what it says. It's about looking to the history of aviation, and right now we're doing World War II stuff, but really the history of aviation has it tied to.
That's right. South Carolina has a tremendous aviation heritage. We're a foundation that was set up to promote and preserve South Carolina's aviation heritage. Since we were founded in 2011, people have donated significant artifacts to our organization.
That's my mom calling.
To the public.
There you go.
What
is this now?
This is a radio. It came out of a warbird. We think a B-17 Flying Fortress. And then there's also some significant lockers that the servicemen would have used during World War II during those periods.
Good gosh, I just love the history of the stuff that's here. We get used to so much technology and iPads and things and those little dials and knobs.
That's right. This is all analog. This is pre-computer, and it's amazing the sophistication of these instruments. For instance, over here we have a Norden bomb sight. This was a super top secret classified bomb sight used for the high altitude bombing. It was so secret it actually had an incendiary bomb grenade in it, so that if a plane went down, they would ignite that to melt the whole bomb sight. We are very happy that incendiary grenade is no longer involved.
Right.
This is a sextant. They use celestial navigation in the airplanes in order to get from point A to point B, and that sextant would have been used in an airplane if they were flying over the Pacific just to get to where they needed to be.
I haven't seen one of these USB things since like 1960. The historical foundation.
Yeah, that shouldn't be on our display table.
Moving on, but this is all real stuff that came out of actual planes and things. They're real. These are not recreations. Right?
This is the authentic stuff, and it came out of planes. Instruments that came out of B-25s, and when we restore our plane, we hope to put these instruments back in the panel to make it look historically correct.
That is fantastic. Of course, the B-25 you're referencing, we've been outside and inside this morning, and the big effort, the big dance right here in this very hangar Saturday night to raise some much-needed funds to restore the B-25 to, I say not flight conditions maybe, but at least the way it was, to actually recreate the exact way it was in 1939 or 1944.
That's right. We're going to restore it so it looks historically correct. We're stewards of this plane for South Carolina. We want to make sure it stays in South Carolina for South Carolinians and Americans in general, and we're going to do our part to make that happen. Saturday is going to be a big dance, and we want as many people to come out and support us as we possibly can have.
So when you say like a USO style dance, so it's going to be like old sock hop, like the old days, the 1940s kind of dance, right?
1940s dress is encouraged. We're going to have a big band, the Dick Goodwin Band. We're going to have a mock air raid. It's going to be fantastic. We'll have warbirds out here. We'll have World War II veterans, and we want people to come and support and honor these folks and just have a great time. It's going to be the best party that's happened at Owens Field, or Hamilton Owens Field, ever.
That's some big news right there, but it's true. Saturday night right here, about 6:30, going to open up barbecue dinner, of course, and the music starts after 7 o'clock. It's $25 per person, $45 for a couple, but it goes right back into the mission of restoring that amazing plane we spent the morning with. And we're going to put links for you at WACH.com for the Aviation Society here and Foundation as well to get involved. If you love aviation, have any questions, these guys are pilots, and they're very, very passionate about aviation and history. So if you ever had any interest, these guys can certainly walk you through that as well. But this is so cool. Links at WACH.com. Saturday night is the big night, and you can help be a part of history as we restore that B-25 that you can drive by and see right today at Owens Field. Guys, back to you. Stay with us. We got more Good Day Columbia coming up.